Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us today on this month's Demo Roundups. Very exciting. Our agenda today, we'll have some announcements. Then we're going to talk a little bit about PagerDuty's AI vision. If you haven't checked in with us recently on what we're doing with AI, this will give you some background there. And then the exciting part, we're going to meet all of PagerDuty's AI agents. So if you haven't seen any of these yet, I haven't seen all of them yet. This is going to be really exciting. We'll have time for Q&A as each demo progresses. So if you have a question about the particular demo, we'll have some time for those, and then we'll have time for general Q&A at the end. So you can put it in the chat. You can use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, whatever works there, and we will try and catch all of your questions. So now we'll turn it all over to Débora to talk about AI at PagerDuty.
I'm super excited to be here today and talk about AI at PagerDuty, and then later on showcasing all of the AI agents in action. Some of them are in early access, some of them will come soon enough. So let's kick this off by talking about a day in the life of a modern software team. It's not just about writing code anymore, it's about orchestrating automation, monitoring, and collaboration across multiple teams and dozens of tools in an infrastructure that seems to grow by the day. And this staggering complexity gets teams caught in a reactive cycle. So here's a question for you. How much of your team's time is spent on break-fix work? For many teams we work with, it ends up eating away time that could otherwise be spent on building. And when we talk to customers, they all want to shift towards a state where they can spend the majority of their time on building and less time on firefighting and keeping the lights on. Now, everyone's talking about using AI to solve these operational challenges, but let's be real about the challenges here. You need clean, reliable data to get effective outputs. There are security concerns about how to handle sensitive production data. And how do you define reliability and resilience? How are you going to manage the complexity and costs associated with this level of transformation and deployment? To set teams up for success, organizations need more than just technology. They need a partner who effectively understands enterprise operations at scale. And this is where PagerDuty comes in. We've spent years managing critical operations for the world's leading companies. We've seen it all, trust me, and we've learned a thing or two about what works. We see a clear path forward, and it starts by understanding three fundamental types of work that operations teams typically face. The first one on the left-hand side is the kind of never seen this before work. Think about novel system behaviors where your senior people remain core to the work, but AI and automation can definitely support them by helping to gather context and suggesting starting points. In the middle, it's what we call more of the familiar work. It looks familiar. AI and automation run with the human in the loop. For example, there's that memory leak that happens every few months. AI can help pattern match, suggest fixes while engineers validate and execute runbooks. And then on the right-hand side, it's the we know exactly what to do kind of work. So here you know the pattern, so you can fully automate your response. And if you continue along that path, systems can start to heal themselves. PagerDuty helps organizations manage all these types of work faster, smarter, and better by systematically moving work from left to right across the spectrum. And every new incident becomes a learning opportunity. AI helps identify patterns, similar incidents are grouped together, automated responses are developed. And gradually, what once required manual intervention becomes automated and preventative. When customers use PagerDuty effectively to handle these three categories of work, here's what happens. Routine work is automated, meaning your teams can apply their skills to more strategic initiatives that move the business forward. Operating costs go down thanks to streamlined processes that scale your team and operations more efficiently. And there's lower operational risk. Teams can actually anticipate issues and prevent them before they become customer impacting to maintain business continuity. But how do we make this all practical? The PagerDuty platform offers AI at multiple levels. First, we offer embedded AI and machine learning capabilities across our core products. These work with built-in automation to reduce noise and streamline workflows. On top of that, we have advanced generative AI features that complement the core product set for even more intelligent automation. These include assistive capabilities and AI agents that can handle work autonomously. Think of it as adding AI superpowers to your existing incident management processes while maintaining the control and reliability your production systems demand. Now, seeing is believing. I'm super excited to introduce you to PagerDuty's roster of AI agents and to show them in action.
Oh, we need to cover safe harbor.
Yeah.
Pause for legal jargon. This presentation shares forward-looking statements. In discussing our future plans, we acknowledge uncertainties. Forward-looking statements are subject to risk and change. Of course, the actual results may vary. So legal taken care of.
We'll start us off with Maya King. Hi, Maya.
Hey everyone. Super excited to share the Shift Agent with you today. All right, so the PagerDuty Shift Agent eliminates the manual burden of managing on-call schedule conflicts through intelligent automation. When conflicts arise between a responder's current on-call schedule and their PTO or vacation time, which can be ingested manually or via our Google or Microsoft 365 calendar integrations, the Shift Agent automatically detects these conflicts and takes action in Slack or Microsoft Teams. It identifies the best qualified replacement candidate based on the availability and expertise, proactively reaching out to these candidates through their preferred chat tools and facilitating the scheduled override process over a replacement. This automation eliminates multiple manual steps traditionally required, checking calendars, finding available replacements, sending individual messages, and updating schedules. By transforming what was once time-consuming, multi-person coordination effort into an automated process, the Shift Agent now allows teams to maintain reliable on-call coverage while freeing up valuable time for more strategic work. Really excited to share the Shift Agent with y'all. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer any initial concerns or any feedback.
Let's cover a couple before we go. So what contributes a scheduling conflict? Like what factors does it consider there?
Yeah, so we at PagerDuty know your on-call schedule. This is already set up in the system, and we know when you're supposed to be on call. And if you manually tell us in the Shift Agent or automate the process by connecting your calendar to PagerDuty, we'll ingest all of those PTO events, and then we will, compare your PTO with your schedule. And when we see that there's a conflict, we'll detect that, show it in our schedule, but also alert you in chat. Because obviously, if you're going on vacation or anything, the last thing on your mind is when am I on call? And you're more worried about how I can get on vacation. So we're taking all of that worry and risk out of that for you.
I'm so looking forward to this one. Oh my gosh. As someone who travels but is also on call as an incident commander here at PagerDuty, like at the beginning of each month, I have like my travel and like looking at the IC commanders list. And I'm like, okay, when am I on call? Does it interfere with my travel for whatever conference or anything else I'm doing? And like hooking this up, I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to this one for sure.
All right. Hi, I'm Julia. I am the product manager for the SRE agent. And today I'm excited to go deeper into the SRE agent and show what's coming for early access, as well as go through a demo. So let's get into it. And before going into the SRE agent in more detail, I do want to call out a few important dates. So first, for early access, that's currently targeted for end of July, and will be in the operations console. And we're targeting Slack as our next service at the end of August, followed by a GA in October. Okay, so now let's go ahead, and before going into the demo for early access, I did just want to take a step back and talk about what is the goal of the SRE agent. So in addition to making sure that we provide targeted actions to help with faster remediation times, one of our goals for the agent is for it to be continuously improving, meaning that we learn from the incidents we triage. So when we triage those incidents again with users, we've already learned what to do. And we can sort of start building that knowledge base of incidents and their remediation paths. So from a triage journey perspective, what this looks like is that when an incident comes in, the SRE agent will summarize key information based off things like what's in the payload or as well the event payload, as well as some of our root cause insights that we have today, such as past incidents or related incidents. We'll also be triaging side by side with users and asking the user to provide things directly to the agent for things such as error logs, diagnostics, or runbooks, and synthesizing that information into targeted next steps. Once we get to general availability, we're going to be adding some integrations. So think of things, integrations such as observability tools or knowledge-based tools in order to get artifacts such as logs or runbooks if customers have them. So whereas at early access, we'll be providing these directly to the user would be providing these directly to the agent. At general availability, we actually plan to get that data programmatically and automatically when the incident happens. And then finally, we already talked about this already, but memory and recall, making sure that we learn continuously from our users to help build us towards that sort of autonomous state. Okay, so that kind of covers kind of our vision and goal for the SRE agent, but let's go ahead and get into a demo to actually see what is coming at early access. So as I mentioned, early access will be in the operations console. So here what you see is that for a given incident, in this case, a consumer lag issue, the SRE agent has already summarized a lot of information for the user. So things like past patterns, and then most importantly, some next steps to take. And I want to point out a couple things here. In this example, you see that it says that the next steps are from a runbook. So in this example, you can assume that the SRE agent has already seen this before. So meaning it's triaged the incident with the user, and therefore it has some suggested next steps based on that runbook it's generated. What I want to point out here, though, is that we don't require having seen an incident before. We don't require having runbooks in order to troubleshoot. What we've seen is that LLMs had advanced a lot, and they're even very rapidly evolving now to understand things such as common incident types and their remediation paths, as well as just general service and system architecture. So even if the user doesn't know where to start, the SRE agent will always recommend some next steps and augment its knowledge from there. So in this example here, you see that the SRE agent is going to say, hey, you should start for this consumer lag issue by restarting the consumer. And what the user is going to reply with is, hey, I already restarted it, meaning what you just provided, I've already done that and it didn't work. So what the SRE agent is going to do now is it's going to reassess the information it has. And the reason I want to call this out is because what it shows is that this agent, it's not a sort of static chatbot. It's truly agentic in nature, meaning it can pivot dynamically based on the interaction it's having with the user. So the SRE agent reassesses its information and comes back. And what it does is it asks for more information from the user. Primarily, hey, there are some logs. Are there some logs you could provide to me so I can analyze those for you? So what we'll see here is the user is going to go ahead and provide that information to the SRE agent, and it's going to analyze those logs and come back with some findings. And what the SRE agent has found in this example is that the issue is not coming from the consumer. It's actually coming from the database, specifically a duplicate record in the database for an account that's causing some problems. So the agent's going to go ahead and provide some SQL as well, so the user could go quickly into the database and troubleshoot that problem record. And then finally, it says, hey, let me know if this works. So the user is going to go ahead and confirm. And the last step I want to call out here is that when the SRE agent triages an incident with the user, it's always going to show it at the end what it's learned, what the SRE agent is actually saving into its memory for this incident. So in this case, what the SRE agent has learned is that when this consumer lag issue happens again, where the user should begin is actually by looking into the database or looking at the error logs for errors that indicate there is something in the database that is wrong. So the user is also going to be able to approve this information. This is also important for a couple of reasons. One is for accuracy, to make sure that what the agent has learned is accurate. So the next time it happens, it has that correct memory. And also in case there's something that the user doesn't want it saving into its memory. So again, just another important piece of that triage journey. So the user is going to go ahead and approve the information or the saving of that information. And what we'll see is that when this incident happens again, let's say in 6 months, the user is going to know exactly what to do. The SRE agent saying, hey, you should go into the error logs and look specifically for if there's any sort of issue regarding duplicate records. So That really concludes what is coming from early access. As I mentioned before, at GA, we have a lot more things coming, integrations to fetch data. We're also working to put in infrastructure automation actions for the agent. So a lot of exciting things coming.
That is super exciting. Like, I love this because, like, you can imagine, like, the first time something gets seen, you put your senior person on it, they get to sort of go through that novel thing and work with the agent and put in the sort of stuff that's recommended and approved and go through that data. And then if the next time your junior person on the team is the one who responds to the similar incident, all that's right there and they get to learn directly from it. And like that just short circuits so many of these like long-term learning processes for junior folks that you just like, it's right there for you exactly the way it worked the last time. Like, I think this is going to be amazing for a lot of teams. As things go into GA here, one question, can we customize the recommendation engine based on the organization's best practices? Like, what kind of data stores will be available?
Yeah, so great question. So here in this example, you saw that the user provided some information. So let's say the user wanted to provide something like their organization's runbook or what to do when this incident happens. So the SRE agent will be able to analyze that, work with that runbook with the user, and then again, augment its knowledge from there so that the next time it happens, it has those best practices at hand already stored. And then, as I mentioned, we'll be having integrations with some knowledge-based tools as well in the future to actually more programmatically get that data. But absolutely, users can provide some of that information to the agent so it can take that into consideration in that sort of memory that it's building.
Perfect. That'll be great for enterprise folks who are like, well, we use this open source software, but we don't really use it the way it's supposed to. So like we have all this custom stuff. So that's super helpful. Awesome. Brita, are you up next?
Yes, I am here. Hey.
Awesome.
Hey, everyone. So the Insights Agent is the next agent we want to talk about today. And the Insights Agent is here to accelerate the pace at which our customers are making those data-driven decisions and take action. So Débora introduced us in the beginning to some slides about how PagerDuty is really helping customers shift those three archetypes of work, right, from the new and novel all the way over to the well understood. And the Insights Agent is here analyzing a customer's or your ecosystem of data to understand those patterns, those trends, those risks in the data so that we can help you, either address or automate those patterns and trends and drive towards more resilient, more efficient operations. What we don't want our customers, to be in is a continuous state of firefighting or dealing with the same issue over and over again, not having addressed that or automated that. It's incredibly costly, right, for teams, businesses, as well as customer trust and resiliency and reliability. And so the Insights Agent exists outside of any one particular incident and rather looks to those trends, patterns, risks across a customer's data ecosystem to surface, both proactively surfacing recommendations and actions, as well as providing the ease of conversational insight so that managers, team managers, admins, different personas across the organization can ask questions that are relevant to their services, their teams, the data that they're looking to analyze and act on. And so this lowers that barrier, right, to synthesizing data, surfacing risks and trends, and provides it from the ease of the chat interface. So without further ado, let's move forward with the next slide. So here you can see I'm in Slack and I have this proactive message that has surfaced, kind of a simple digest of key metrics for my team. I have here high urgency incidents in the last week, MTTX metrics, response effort, etc. And I can see those metrics for my team as well as how they compare week over week. As we scroll down here, I can see proactive recommendation as well. So it looks like my team has the opportunity to actually reduce incident noise by enabling alert grouping. So when I click that button, it takes me into the web UI where I can learn more about what alert grouping is and how when we have alert storms, right, all that information can get grouped into a single incident so that my team stays focused on resolution. And I can also change, the recommended time period, select one or multiple services and see the impact there on how that's going to change things for my service, the impact that it's going to have on noise reduction. And then with the ease of a button click to actually enable that configuration for my services instantly, essentially improving my operations and resiliency there. So as I come back to Slack, you can see that I can, click some of these prompts to learn more about other data that I might want to explore. But in this case, I'm actually going to prepare for, let's pretend I'm an engineering manager, prepare for an upcoming reporting that I have for the month of May. So I want to look into high urgency incident trends for a service that I own. And so the Insights agent here surfaces data about the inventory management service, retail service. And I can see here that there were actually 31 high urgency incidents. There was an interesting spike during the week of May 19th to 20th, which I hadn't actually, previously seen from my team. And that is something that I really want to dig into more. So I can continue to ask questions. In this case, right, wanting to understand, were there other services also that experienced a similar issue, right? Are we having kind of cascading failures? Are we seeing broader issues across the organization? And in this case, the Insights agent is now surfacing that there were quite a few services actually that had other issues, and the database service had a very similar pattern to the spike that I saw on my team's service. So that's something that I might want to talk about with an engineering manager on that team, understand the root cause, understand what we might need to do to either address that issue or automate some things so that my team is not disrupted, not distracted from their project work. So this is just one simple example, right? If I'm an admin or owner and wanting to make sure that all teams or services are, inside of our SLO or SLA, right? I can ask questions like that. Any variety of things that you might want to converse and understand. It provides you that access to this really rich, really synthesized data right from Slack. So we have that summary, proactive recommendations, and conversational insights. And as we move through to H2, the agent will become increasingly powerful, right? Not just helping to synthesize this data and provide those patterns and trends, but to provide more and more recommendations and actions that it can semi-autonomously take on behalf of customers to ease all of that burden around, understanding the pain points and driving that resiliency. So super excited about where the Insights agent is going and its power to help our customers really drive mature operations.
Yeah, there's a lot of data in there. So like for this one, who do you imagine using it the most often? Like I see managers looking at it from some perspectives, but also maybe architects and other folks who are looking for more resilience issues across an entire platform. Like who do you have in mind as maybe the first user of this kind of agent in a different customer?
Yeah, absolutely, Mandi. I mean, I think that there's the two key personas that you kind of hit on, right? It's like that team manager that's like managing, the 1 to 10 services, like kind of wanting to understand how their team is performing, how their team's performing compared to other teams in the organization, right? You can click the button that was the prompt and see, team performance or ask simple questions like that, which I think can really help people understand how they are, like how their team is doing with respect to the broader picture, as well as their goals. And then there is that overarching. So, the SRE or the admin owner, or like you said, architect, right? Wanting to understand kind of some of these gaps, cascading failures, resiliency, issues are opportunities at the broader organizational level. So those, I would say those two, but this access to data allows for both non-technical and technical stakeholders to ask a variety of questions and get those answers on demand, which is super exciting.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just came from recording an episode of our podcast about alert fatigue, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be very helpful for those folks too. Awesome. All right, who's up next?
All right, so yeah, everyone. So the Scribe agent, essentially, the goal is to really help with eliminating the need of the human scribe role during an incident, promoting consistent knowledge capturing and sharing, The idea is to really provide customers with full picture of everything that is going on during the incident. So with PagerDuty Advance, we've had for some time already the ability to capture chat history and incident data. And now with the Scribe agent, we can really capture information from conference meetings as well, which has been one of the most requested functionalities that we have been getting from customers. So we are starting with an early access with Zoom, which we will see shortly a quick demonstration of how this early access with the Zoom conference meeting integration comes into play. And then next month, we will be adding some additional functionalities like MS Teams conference bridge. And then later on, we will add additional conference meeting integrations like Google Meet. So with that, let's see a quick demonstration. It's affecting both web and mobile users. We've had about 30 tickets so far, and social media is starting to pick it up.
Thanks, Jacky. Nuno, what are you seeing on your hand?
Well, I did check the logs. They are started at 10:12 a.m. UTC time. Load balancer is returning the mentioned 502s. This usually means the backend is not responding properly. Also noticed a spike in the CPU usage in that order service.
I'm currently looking at the service health dashboard. The order service is showing increased latency and some pod restarts. There are no recent deploys, but I see a config change merged about an hour ago.
Okay, let's focus on that config change. Anna, can you pull up the diff and see if anything stands out?
Yes, I'm on it. Looks like there was a change to the database connection pool size. It was increased from 20 to 100.
Well, that could explain the CPU spike. So if we are opening too many connections, the database might be throttling or dropping connections. That could indeed cause the 502s.
Good catch. Jacky, can you update the status page and let customers know we're investigating a backend issue?
Already on it. I will also update the support team with what we know so far.
Nuno, can you try rolling back that config change and see if errors subside?
Yeah, sure. Rolling back now. Should take about a minute or so.
I'll monitor the metrics and logs for any improvement.
Thanks. Let's stay on until we confirm the rollback helps. Jacky, keep us posted if you see any change in customer reports.
Will do.
Okay, the rollback is done. I'm starting to see the CPU is already dropping.
I see errors are decreasing now. Looks like that was the issue.
Great work, team. Let's keep monitoring for the next 10 minutes. Jacky, let customers know we've implemented the fix and we are monitoring.
I'm on it.
Thanks, everyone. We'll do a post-instant review after things stabilize. For now, let's keep an eye on things and regroup if anything changes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, team.
All cards on the table, right? We're eating our own cooking on this one, right? We just added Scribe Agent to our major incident workflow this week. I'm currently on call for IC, but haven't, knock wood, been called into anything yet. So I have not yet seen it in action, but this is pretty exciting, Jacky. So how is Scribe Agent different from other AI transcription tools that are, native to the tools that we might be working with, like Zoom or Slack or whatever?
Yeah, that's a good question. In this demo, we showcased how it comes into play, during the incident, which is something that other tools can provide as well. But I think the power of our Scribe agent really lies in its comprehensive integration with the Operations Cloud platform, essentially combining incident data, chat history, whether Slack, Microsoft Teams soon, and operational context. And unlike basic transcription tools, it really delivers value both during live incidents and post-incident reviews by providing a complete and contextual view of all incident-related information.
So it'll be a little bit more specialized for those. And does this automatically join conference calls?
Yeah, so as we speak, we are actually adding the functionality and the integration with our incident workflows. So basically, in a few weeks from now, this early access will support the flexibility of adding the scribe to any incident workflow so that it can automatically join the meeting. And we really see the human in the loop automation as a key component here. So there will be the flexibility of automatically adding it, but also like having the human approve whenever is needed. All right, so that's also something that we are very excited about. But before talking about the functionality that we recently introduced, um, so let me give you some context. So, while PagerDuty Advance has already helped customers achieve impressive 30% improvements in mean time to resolution, we recognize an opportunity to drive even greater efficiency. Now, the challenge, the data silos continues to limit responders' visibility and access to real-time information. So how do we break down these barriers to achieve even faster resolution times? And the answer lies in creating seamless access to critical data across all your tools and systems, essentially enabling responders to make informed decisions faster. So let me show you how we are tackling this challenge head on. So imagine incident management where every critical piece of information is instantly at your fingertips. That's now reality with PagerDuty Advance and Amazon Q Index, the industry's first integration that's revolutionizing how teams respond to incidents. By breaking down data silos across your entire tech stack, from GitHub to Confluence and beyond, this powerful partnership transforms scattered information into actionable insights. PagerDuty Advance harnesses Amazon's Q cross-application intelligence to put critical context exactly where and when responders need it. And the result, through operational resilience. No more switching between tools or hunting for answers, just faster and smarter incident resolution that keeps your systems running and your customers happy. If we can move to the next slide, here you can see how PagerDuty Advance with Amazon Q really transforms how teams work through three game-changing capabilities. First, it taps into enriched knowledge-based sources, creating a powerful cross-application index that puts critical information at your fingertips. Think about it as like your entire organizational knowledge base is intelligently connected and instantly accessible. And then second, it really eliminates the productivity killing practice of constant context switching. So no more toggling between multiple tools and dashboards. And the result is the teams can significantly reduce costs while improving mean time to resolution.
Awesome. So that one will be available for folks who are also Amazon Q customers. Is that how that one works?
Yeah, so that's available to any, PagerDuty Advanced customer. And then in addition, you need to have Amazon Q business on your, Amazon AWS account.
Okay, perfect. That'll be awesome. All right. So general questions. How do we get started with all these agents? How do they all get set up for us?
I can take that. So getting started with AI agents is quite straightforward. If you're on, incident management or customer service plan, you already have access through a one-time set of credits. And then you simply need to visit, our UI console to enable or disable specific agents based on your needs. For Microsoft Teams users, there is no additional step required if you have the existing integration in place. You will see the connected indicator right away in the UI console. For Slack users with the existing integration, you will need a quick one-time setup. Your Slack admin will need to enable two sets of optional scopes, similar to your initial PagerDuty configuration. And then once that's enabled, you will see also the connected indicator in the UI console. And that's pretty much it. You should be ready to start leveraging AI agents.
And how do we envision the agents working together sort of across all these domains that they touch?
I can take that. So, I think what makes our AI agents unique is their ability to learn from each other. So, for instance, we've seen demos of the Scribe and the SRE agent. And the Scribe agent doesn't just document meetings, right? It really it will feed that valuable information to the SRE agent, which can then use these insights during future incidents. And essentially that synergy really creates a powerful feedback loop where each incident response becomes more intelligent and drawing on an ever-growing knowledge base of past experiences and discussions. So that's really just one example of a synergy between two agents.
Yeah, I hope folks find these so powerful. Like that, there's so much stress and like sometimes your brain just goes blank when you're in the middle of an incident, but like having these sort of intelligent friends here to help you can sort of hopefully help folks work through all of that stuff. So as folks are using these over time, do we have like performance metrics or reporting available to help folks measure, just how much improvement they're seeing from using the agents?
A key component of PagerDuty AI agents is our analytics console, which provides transparent visibility into the tangible benefits of AI adoption. So essentially, by showcasing before and after comparisons, MTTR improvements, and time savings metrics, customers can clearly quantify their ROI and any operational gains. And this data-driven approach to measuring AI impact really helps organizations understand and validate the real-world value of their investment.
All right, one more question. We have plenty of time. If folks want to ask any questions, there will be plenty of documentation available, and you can always reach out to your account teams if you have other questions or you want some guidance on bringing some of these into your environment. And always please sign up for the early access. The links have been posted in the chat, as well as some documentation. One final question here, maybe specifically for Débora. Do we have information posted about what tools we're using and how what's our approach to sort of data security around all of these kinds of things?
Yeah, so with AI and specifically agentic AI being the new kid on the block, we always get tons of questions from customers about security, compliance, what LLM models we're using, how are we using their data to train those LLM models? Spoiler alert, we're not. But we do have a comprehensive AI disclosure document where our customers can learn more about our AI, how we manage it for safety, security, and transparency. And so we highly recommend people to check that document. It is publicly available. When we'll drop a link here in the chat to our knowledge base where we have specific instructions on how to access that document that everybody should read, because we do know that transparency is a key thing when talking about AI. So yeah.
All right. So folks, if I don't see any more questions, if you do have questions later, like I said, you can reach out to your account team. You can ask on the community forums at community.pagerduty.com if you'd like to. We have the QR code there. You can scan that for early access for any of these agents that you saw today. Let us know what you think, and we love to hear your feedback on these. We are using some of them internally, like I mentioned. So we're all excited about them as well. Thank you to all of our panelists. Thank you, Débora, for telling us the AI story. We'll be back at the end of July, the 24th, for the next Demo Roundup.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Mandi.
All right, guys. Have a good day.